All right, let's talk about one of the most stressful parts of any IT project, that very first big decision. When you're facing a sea of options and you have to make the right strategic choice, well, today we're going to build a toolkit for exactly that. Let's break it down.
Oh yeah, you know the feeling, right? A brand new project kicks off, the pressure's on, and suddenly you're staring at all these different paths. Do you go with the tried and true tech, the cutting-edge new framework, or maybe just a low-cost solution? You know that first call. Man, it can literally make or break everything that comes after. So here's our game plan. We're going to start at that big crossroads, then figure out how we're going to judge the options. After that, we'll get into the actual tools, look at how to handle uncertainty, and then, bring it all home to make that final, confident decision.
Okay, first up, Section 1, an IT project at a crossroads. Let's really dig into why this first step is so incredibly important.
So think about it like this. Making a bad call right at the start, it's like tipping over the first domino. It just triggers this whole chain reaction, right? Budgets spiral, deadlines fly by, and you end up with a product that, well, just doesn't hit the mark. To make this super clear, we're going to use one example all the way through. Let's say we're picking a core tech for a brand new mobile app. This single choice is going to set the stage for everything else.
All right, on to Section 2, choice criteria. Look, before you can pick a winner, you gotta know the rules of the game, right? You have to agree on what you're actually judging these options on. That means setting some really clear criteria.
And this is the classic problem, isn't it? It's always this tug of war. The cheap option feels tempting, but you worry it's going to fall apart, and that top-of-the-line solution, awesome, but it could totally blow your budget. The real secret here is that you have to look at both sides of the coin.
Yeah, a really solid decision, a smart one, looks at two things. You've got the financial story. That's all the hard numbers, the costs, the potential profit. But then you've got the quality story, and that's all about performance, how reliable it is, and maybe most importantly, does it actually fit with where the company's trying to go in the long run? Okay, so on the financial side, you've got these metrics that give us real solid numbers to work with. For our mobile app, yeah, we're looking at the upfront implementation cost, for sure. But we're also looking at stuff like the payback period and net present value, NPV. Now, NPV sounds complicated, but all it really does is tell you what a project's total profit is worth over time in today's money. It's an amazing way to compare the long-term financial punch of your different options.
But numbers are not the whole story. Not even close. What happens if the app goes viral overnight? Can it handle 1 million users? That's scalability. Will it even talk to our current databases? That's compatibility. See, these non-financial things, they are absolutely critical for the long-term success of the project.
Okay, Section 3, evaluation tools. We've got our criteria. Now let's get into the fun part, the actual tools we use to make the call.
So the most basic tool in the box is a cost-benefit analysis. It's exactly what it sounds like. You add up all the costs on one side, all the financial benefits on the other, and you just see which one wins. Super simple, super transparent. It's awesome if you only care about the money.
But, and this is a big but, that's its weakness, right? A simple cost-benefit analysis completely ignores all those super important quality things we just mentioned. So for a smarter decision, we're going to need a better, more flexible tool.
And that's where the weighted scoring model comes in. Now this is a game changer. Why? Because it lets you mix everything together, the financial stuff and the non-financial stuff, and boil it all down to a single score for each option. The first step is assigning weights to decide what's most important. And let's be real, that part is usually a huge debate with all the stakeholders. But once you got that, you just score each option and let the numbers do the talking.
So let's put this into practice with our mobile app. Let's say A is a native app, B is cross-platform, and C is low-code. After that big debate, we've decided cost is our #1 priority, so we give it a weight of 0.3. Quality is a close second at 0.25. Now, if you look at the scores, you can see the native app totally crushes it on quality and compatibility. Meanwhile, the low-code option is the most reliable. Each one has its strengths, but the magic happens when we multiply those scores by our weights and add them all up.
And the winner is Alternative B, the cross-platform solution, with a final score of 4.4. And this is so cool because it might not have been the best in any one single area, but it gave us the best overall mix based on what we said was important. See, the model gives you a super clear, data-backed answer.
But hold on, we're not done yet, not by a long shot, because a good decision isn't just for today. A great decision has to be ready for whatever the future throws at it.
And that's where scenario analysis comes in. I love this one. It's basically a flight simulator for your project. You get to play what if. You build out a few different versions of the future. The everything is awesome optimistic version, the uh-oh this is bad pessimistic one, and something realistic in the middle. Then you see how your choice holds up in each world. It's all about testing for resilience.
So scenarios are great for that big picture view. But what if you want to zoom in? What if you want to know which single thing has the biggest power to derail your project? Is it the development cost? Is it user numbers? What's the one domino you really don't want to fall?
To figure that out, we use sensitivity analysis. Think of it like a sound mixer's board for your project. You've got all these different dials, one for cost, one for sales, one for whatever. You grab one of those dials, say development cost, and you start turning it up and down to see how much it messes with your final outcome, in this case, the NPV.
Okay, let's check out the table for our app. Our baseline, right there in the middle, says if we hit our target cost of $500K, we'll get an NPV of $200K. That's our starting point, but just watch what happens when that one number starts to shift.
Wow, okay, this chart says it all. A 20% jump in cost, and it cuts our project's value clean in half. It drops all the way down to $100,000. This is a huge red flag. It's screaming at us that controlling development cost isn't just important, it's a make-or-break risk factor that we have to watch like a hawk.
Okay, we've set our rules, we've used our tools, we've stress-tested for risk. Now it's time to bring it all home and wrap it up in a simple, final process you can actually use.
So here it is, your 4-step framework. Step 1, gather your data and run the numbers, maybe using that weighted scoring model. Step 2, assess your risks. Do your scenario and sensitivity analyses. Step 3, make the call. Pick your winner. And step 4, and please do not skip this one, document everything. Write down how you got here and justify the choice. That way, everyone on the team knows the why behind the what.
Look, when you follow a process like this, you're not just guessing. You're not just picking your favorite option. You're making a strategic, defensible choice that's built to last. You now have a solid toolkit for navigating those tough IT project decisions. So the only question I have for you is, now that you have the tools, how are you going to get ready for the surprises you know are coming?